next. I need a Nike bag, give me the check. I need the money and power, respect, but I promise I'm repping the O to the dead. Hey, I told them out of my way. I don't got nothing to say. Now they can't run at my pace. Yeah, they know that we ain't the same. 402, we rap the game. I told them this ain't a game.
Yo, what's cracking? What's going on? You already know what time it is. It's Finn's Take with CB83, Dolphins Deliberations. Your boys in the building. We getting it cracking. Shout out to everybody in here. We got 10 in here. Punch the damn like on your way in. Appreciate y'all coming through and hanging with the kid. Let's get this camera straight. Let's get it cracking. What's up with y'all today, man? What's popping? What's going on? Love to see y'all in the building. We about to get it going in here. This camera don't want to stay up, right? But we gonna get it up, right? What's good? What's going on? What's popping? Shout out to everybody in the building. Hey, who was in here first? Shout out to the homie Canes who was in here first. He says, salute CB83 and everyone. Salute to the homie Canes in the building. Shout out to the homie. We going up. Let's go. Yes, sir. Shout out to the homie Canes in the building. Shout out to my guy in here. What's good with you? He says Dolphins 27, Chiefs 24. It's a Dolphins dub, a little closer than I wanted to be, but I'm rocking with it. Hey, we got to go up for that one. Let's go. Sir, shout out to the homie Q in the building. He already know what time it is. Yes, sir. Shout out to the homie Q in the building. What's popping with y'all? It's another Friday night, another week we got in the books. Blessed to see another week of life, man. Shout out to everybody in the building. Incognito's in here too. What's up, Q and Canes? Let's get this dub. CB83, fins up. Let's go. Let's get it cracking. Joseph Latham in the building. What up, everyone? What's up, Joe? What's going on with you? Shake Money in the building. TJ, okay, I see you. Big ups to the members gang, the Patreon members gang. Irvin hooked up. Joe, hey, who's gonna be third in the members gang over at the Patreon? You see that the table is waiting. Hit the link. It's pinned to the chat. You already know how we going up for the members gang. Let's get it. Let go. Hey, and speaking of members gang, Hooked Up Joe is in the building. Hooked Up Joe is the second member in the members gang over at Patreon. We just building it back up brick by brick. You know how we do. You know how we get down. Shout out to the homie. New Finland's in the building. Hopefully no. Oh, you're getting a little wild today. Okay. He said he had my fill already. Okay, nah, we keep it. Hey. We welcome everybody over here, right? We know we got the wolf pack out there. You know, they a little quiet right now. They're dormant. They ain't really around like that. They've been cooked, right? They running around like, man, I've been cooked. I ain't gonna lie, I'm getting cooked. Hey, the wolf pack is cooked, but you know you're gonna have them around. So we already, hey, we welcome everybody over here. Hey, just the terrible takes. We're gonna kill you if you're in the chat giving out terrible takes. We're gonna kill you. We gotta get you right. We gotta get your takes right. You know how that go, man. Shout out to the homie Mudbone in the building. I see you, Mudbone. He says, what's up, Fin fans? What's popping with y'all, man? What's going on? I know there's some other guys live. Hey, come in here, punch that like button on your way in, punch it on your way out. You know how we get down. Let's go. Sir, yes, sir. Hey, we got a big game this weekend, 9:30 a.m. Eastern. Ooh, hey, we are in Germany with it. Shout out to S. Harris in the building. What up, fam? What up? What's popping with you? S. Harris, the homie for real. What's good with you, my boy Duke Tomlinson in the building? Hey, my dog, Fred in the building. Fred, what's cracking with you? Dre in the building. Click, clack, biggity, bang, bang. What's up with you, my boy? What's up, Dre? What's up with you? Who else in here? New Attitude in here. He says, what's up in chat? Day one. Okay, day one. Fins up. Good stuff. CB83. Appreciate you, my boy. Hey, Wolfpack Fred in here. Wolfpack Fred. Hey, Fred, the Wolfpack cook, man. You ain't know? The Wolfpack is cooked, Fred. They cooked. They cooked.
I ain't gonna lie, I'm getting cooked.
Hey, Tourinairs, we had it figured out. The Tourinairs, we the best in the nation. We the best.
I'm the best in the nation. Supposed to be number one right now.
The Tourinairs had it figured out, man. Hey, I got some of the homies coming through. I got one of the homies in the back right now. I gotta get him up here. We gotta have these conversations. Dolphin Don, I see you. Q, what's up with you? Wolfpack don't want Fred neither. Oh man. Damn, they ain't do you like that, Fred, did they? Come on, man.
Man, sit your dumb ass down and shut.
Hey, I hope they ain't giving you that with your takes, Fred. I hope they ain't giving it to you like that. What's good with you? Hey, let me get the homie in here. Shout out to the homie for coming through, man. We try to do these conversations and just have some real deal conversations about what's going on in the Miami Dolphins community. Shout out to the homie Lou for pulling up on me. What's good with you, Lou? What's popping with you?
What's good, CB?
Bro, you've been out in these Dolphin streets all day, giving everybody the business, huh? What's up with you, bro?
Hey, man, hey, listen, man, just living the day in the life of a Dolphin fan, man. Just got to put in that work. You know what I'm saying? The team's putting in that work, so you got to put in that work.
Hey, your boy is really out there putting in that work, boy. Hey, you everywhere. I see, hey, you go from show to show to show. You the real deal. Holyfield, my boy.
Hey, I'm a wanted man, CB. You know, it just is what it is.
Hey,
it
must be nice, man. It must be nice to have that type of clout in the community, bro.
Hey, man, you know, it is what it is. Somebody got to do it, man.
Hey, it's hard work, but somebody got to do it, man. Hey, Newfoundland said you've been stirring up shit all day. God damn.
Nah. Listen, it's stirring up and being positive about the team.
That's stirring it up, because that's what they used to call me. They said I was a problem child because I used to be a little too positive for these people, man. They ain't like that. What's up with that, Lou?
Well, again, it's one thing to be. I don't want to say you were a homer, CB, but yeah, you were more pessimistic. I'll give you that.
Optimistic.
Right?
Optimistic.
Pessimistic.
Yeah.
Right. But, you know, times have changed, man. And listen, the team has changed. So now I get when everybody said there used to be real haters. I guess I could never see it.
Ooh.
But now that the team is proven, you know, guys like me that maybe had some reservations, whether it was about coaching or players or whatever, the team has changed that. So now, if I wouldn't change with them, CB, then I would be a real hater. And we still have those in the community, man. So, you know, it just is what it is. Times are changing, though, for the Dolphins.
At this point, is it cool to still have haters in the community? I mean, with the Dolphins playing the way they are, I mean, is it still a thing to be a hater of the Dolphins or be someone who's pessimistic in regards to the Dolphins?
I don't see why, you know, you would be pessimistic about this team so far. I mean, listen, you're 6-2 after 8 games, and you have a game this Sunday where you could be the number 1 overall seed in the AFC. Like, if you can't get excited about that, CB, I mean, there ain't really nothing else that no one can do. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, yeah. It's gonna be tough if you can't get excited about where we are right now and what the team is playing like. The offense is looking like. It's been a long time coming, Lou, since we've seen something as dynamic as we're seeing. So I think if you're a real Dolphin fan, right, I think you can appreciate what you're seeing in this team and what you're seeing in this organization right now. It's refreshing, right?
Hey, CB, what's that comment right there, CB?
I don't know what Dre talking about, man. Dre be on one, bro. Dre, hey, get up here, Dre. If you got something to say it with your chest, man. It sounds like you sneak dissing.
I don't know what that is. What's going on?
What's he got going on, man? Hey, the link is pinned for Dre. If Dre want to come up and say something, I see Nene down there. I know Nene got something to say. I don't know if she
Man,
want to talk Brian
CB, that's
Flores.
crazy.
I don't
And
know
you
if
see
she want to talk Brian Flores today, or if she want to
Oh,
talk.
man.
I don't know what's going on, but we can have these discussions. I mean, let's get to it. I mean, that's what it's about. I think having the tough conversations in the community right now. And there's some certain topics we want to touch on, like, this team the best 6-2 team? Mike, there's a lot going on with Mike McDaniel and a lot coming out from his interviews. I think the most interesting thing I heard today is that Mike McDaniel is preparing his team to go play in the Super Bowl, right? And I heard that in a tidbit, and we're going to watch it because I want to watch it. Just watch the clip as well because I want to kind of break it down. But man, it's some conversations to be had for real. It's a lot of conversations out here to be had, and I think that's a big part of it. But shout out to the homie Nene. I know you wanted to pull up and have some conversation. Nene, what's going on with you?
It's gonna be very quick because I'm listening to you watching the Heat game.
Don't land it so quickly.
Listen. But I'm watching the Heat game, writing the paper. I'm doing like 5 different things.
The Heat last in the East right now. I just wanted to say that. All right.
Order your steps, sir.
I just wanted to put out a disclaimer. The Magic are 3-2, and the Heat are what? Last in the division. The Magic are killing it right now. I just wanted to give you the update.
Hey, Nene, we gotta be nice over here. This CV's platform.
You ain't gotta be nice. Do what you do. You ain't gotta be nice.
No, but I just wanted to talk to something that you guys are talking about in terms of the. I love when y'all always use the word community, because with that just means that word community. Everybody is not going to see it the same way, and I think what happens is people's passions take over that concept that. I may be passionate about it this way, but this person has a right to feel the way that they feel. And for me, I would say anybody that attends spaces, anybody that attends platforms like this on a regular, I can't just not say they're a part of this community, but they have a right to feel how they feel. I think that nothing will solve people not willing to listen, or what I learned, active listening. Because like I see it in the spaces, somebody will make a horrible take, right? And they won't get the opportunity to say, you know what, I made a horrible take. It just continues. True. You made a horrible take, you're horrible take. But where's the grace in the community for somebody to make a mistake? And I know that sounds corny and dry, but I'm a little bit older, and I don't understand it because everybody for the most part wants the same thing. The Dolphins to win. How we get there and how you think it should go, it shouldn't really matter. As long as that's a W, that's my perspective. But I know if everybody agreed, then you wouldn't have Dolphins Twitter, you wouldn't have YouTube, because it would be nothing to talk about, because everybody's going to see it the way that they're seeing it. I land my plane, and y'all just pray for me with writing this paper. Y'all be blessed.
Praying for you with the paper for real. I know you in the college grind. That's a grind for real. Been there, done that. But I think you made an interesting point. Like, I mean, I think it's funny and trolling that people are, people in the community. It really is like locker room banner, like giving guys a hard time because they have terrible takes, or because their takes didn't land, or they were wrong. I think that's part of it, right? I think part of that is trolling. Part of that is like, damn, you were wrong. Like, and I think people take pride in being right in the community. I think people take pride in being right everywhere in life, right? So I think that's part of it too. And I think when you put terrible stuff out there, like on the internet, out there in the spaces, you just better be ready to back it up, or be ready to take the heat when it comes back as being wrong. I mean, I think that's the nature of it. And there was just a lot of guys, a lot of people, right, in the community who didn't like Tua, like who felt like he wasn't good enough, he would never be good enough. And I think that's where a lot of this stems from is, hey, there were people on both sides of the fence. They stood very, very tough on their ground. And as a result of it, now you're seeing one side saying, "Oh, you guys were wrong." The other side saying, "Oh," and there's a couple ways how people do it. They either play the victim and say, "Oh, you're picking on me," or they own it. And a lot of people, a lot of the Tua haters aren't owning it. And that's my thing. Like, if you owned it and just said, "Yeah, I was wrong," he's balling. Like, some cats will come out and do that. Lewis does that. Lewis was like, "Yeah, I mean, he's changed. He's playing better. I got to be objective. He looks like a totally different quarterback." That's fair, right? But there's also some guys who are like, well, we got to see him do it, we got to see him get a playoff win." Like, a playoff win isn't a Tua stat. It's not a QB stat, right? So it's hard for me that people keep moving the goalposts. Oh, he's got to win a Super Bowl. He's got to get a playoff win. He's got to take us to the AFC Championship. There's a lot that could go wrong in a game that had nothing to do with Tua winning or losing the game, right? So it's hard for me to take people seriously who just kind of continue to move that goalpost back and back and back and back because they were wrong and because they don't want to own it. Now, Nene, you're responsible. You're an adult. You move like that. You own it when you say you're wrong about something. There's a lot of people who won't own it. So that's the difference. I think people who own it, hey, that's one thing. You owned it, right? But people who don't own it, I think those are the people who get clowned and laughed at. Point blank, period.
Well, I think, and I'm glad you said about owning it, because I've seen it. You know, I know some of you guys have known each other for years, and that's just how you communicate with each other. I had to learn
that's
that
part
some
of it
people,
too. That's part of
they
it too.
just communicate that way. But there is a point where people are arguing so much, they're not listening, that I'm agreeing with you're saying, but we're all screaming at the top of our lungs, saying the same thing. So I think that affects the communication as well, is when everybody's yelling, and that person could have said, "You know what? I agree with you," but they're like, "Nah, you agreement with me, but I gotta let you know in November last year you said this." And I'm just like, I know it's trolling, but then sometimes it get personal. And I just like, in those moments, I'm like, we need to win a Super Bowl, and maybe this will heal the fan base, because I didn't know it was this deep, to be honest.
It's deeply rooted, and I don't feel like it should be that way. I think that's just the nature of where we are in the Dolphins organization. And I mean, it's a tough spot to be in, but it's the nature of where we're at. It just is. It's a weird spot to be in. It really is. But
well, I just think two things can be true, right? Like, to be the 5th overall pick, again, a lot of people would, and I'll be with me, right? Like, where I was on the side of the fence, that's why I always made the argument, and CB can attest to this. I didn't care about the Brian Flores narrative. I didn't care about the no weapons narrative. I just looked at Tua coming from Alabama, knowing what his pedigree was. I felt he should have came in here and, you're the 5th pick for a reason. It's to change the franchise. Picks 1 through 5, they're not going to good teams. So I didn't want to hear that excuse. So that's why I was a little bit harder on Tua. But like, to CB's point, once Tua starts coming out in year 3 and doing what he did last year, and now obviously what he's doing this year, for you, and when I say you, I'm not meaning you, Nene, or CB, or anybody.
I
like,
understand.
I'm just saying, in general, if you can't give Tua his props now, and you still complaining about, well, Tua can't make this throw, or to your point, Nene, if back in 2020 Tua did this, like, what are we doing here? Because I just think two things can be true. I know me and CB and some of the other guys that are coming through tonight are going to talk about Coach McDaniel, right? Some of the things we've heard from Rich Eisen and Dan Orlovsky, and CB also sent me something else about coaching and things that we'll talk about later.
Yeah.
But it's like, when I look at Brian Flores, what I heard today about Mike McDaniel, I'm impressed with, right? Like, I'm encouraged hearing those things about McDaniel. But that doesn't change the fact that I still like Brian Flores as well, right? Like, I think two things can be true. Whether you like Brian Flores or not, I still think he was a good coach. He just had people skills to where, when you hear some of the stories that we'll talk about later with McDaniel, I think McDaniel has the coaching down, but he's just doing a better job of managing egos, having the pulse on this football team. So two things can be true. I just think CB used the word being objective, and that's all. That's all any Dolphin fan should want, right? And just be objective. If the team is playing bad, or you see some things that you don't like, address those. But if they're playing well and they're 6-2, and let's stop going back into, oh well, in 1987 this happened, and then, bro, just enjoy the moment, enjoy what this football team is about now, and just be objective. That's what I'm looking for, at least.
Hey, but Lewis, before I go, because I'm going to forget the point, I
ahead.
think one of the issues I have is something you said earlier. People have favorites, and then they have people they don't like, and that goalpost doesn't move. If I like you, someone else can do the same thing you do, and I will give that person grace, but I will hold you to a different standard.
Which is not fair.
You mentioned that in the group. I think they were talking about injuries and holding out players. And I just love your example. You use McDaniel. Everybody likes that McDaniel is doing it, but when Flores possibly could have been doing that for Tua, it wasn't the same projection, even though it was the same thing. So
exactly.
I think for me,
I get it.
That I love that example because I think that's about 50. And then I think I'm gonna be honest, it's just some immaturity to understand that people are at different places of their fanhood. Some people been a fan for 10 years, some people for 40. So their opinion is going to be based off of their experiences. So for you to try to push down my throat that I haven't seen 20 plus years of mediocrity, I don't think that's fair neither. I get you can enjoy it, but when somebody be like, yeah, enjoy and just forget about what happened. Well, no, I really can't do that until we win a champion. That's the goal. I want a championship. I don't want.
Hold on, real quick. Welcome to the show, Doc. Welcome to the show, Tom. I got a couple more people in the back, but I'm gonna go ahead and let Doc. You can go ahead and cook real quick, and then I'm gonna get a couple more people going. Go ahead, bro.
Hey, do I have feedback?
No, you're good now. You're good now. I think you're good.
So I agree with Nene said, except that your point is human nature, because all of us do that. I do it, you do it, CB. When we like somebody, we're going to say, here's the reason why they weren't successful, or this thing happened and that's why they weren't. When we don't like a person that it may be in the same situation, we're going to say, well, here's why they were unsuccessful and they should have did this and this and this. With Brian Flores, the Brian Flores people will come and say, hey, here's why he's successful and this is what happened and he shouldn't have been fired. And so I think that's human nature of, we like what we like, and when it's good for us, it works, and when it ain't good for us, it don't work.
But I think what I was talking to was the balance of human nature. You can have an opinion, but then there has to be what CB say, some being objective. And I just think because I made like what Lewis said, just because I don't think Brian Flores is a bad guy doesn't mean I hate Mike McDaniel.
But I think what I'm saying, I think you admit what I say is Reginald Brown, and I will say this, is not objective when it comes to some degree to Mike McDaniels, right? Because I like him. That's my guy. I don't think Nene is objective when she comes to Brian Flores. You know what I'm saying? It's just, sometimes it's just what we like, and our people, and that's the human nature. Some people can't see no wrong in their people.
Yeah. And I think, but see, there's that's where the balance is. Like, Nene, you have to be able to say, hey, Brian Flores did miss in some areas. Like he did miss in terms of like
right, and Lewis will tell
absolutely.
You, my take has always
of course
been that, but people that despise him don't want to hear any good about him. So when you say, hey,
I don't think that's
like
true though.
CB83, CB83, Nene.
Oh, stop. Now, Brian Flores, I thought was a fantastic coach, and I thought he
was good defensively.
I thought he did a great job as a defensive mind and putting the defense together. Now, when it came to hiring a staff, when it came to putting an offense together, that was a different story, right? And honestly, it all falls on the head coach. He's the head guy. Right. So when it all rolls down, it rolls onto him. Right. So you can't get 45%, 45% of the team right and think you're doing the organization justice. I mean, that can't be the case. I understand it could be, even if it's 65 or 75, you're still missing some key parts of getting it right.
Right,
So
but here's the thing. I'll leave with this. We forget, just like people feel, and it's fair that McDaniel inherited something. So did Flores. He inherited a mess, if we're
oh
being
yeah,
honest. And I
he
just think
he inherited more of a mess than Mike McDaniel for sure.
the whole thing is different about the coaching. That may be what you're talking about, but I think the sticking point is Tua. And that's where it becomes a little different, because we're not talking about him hiring people and all of this. Is that there are people that love Tua, and that's their right. And just that name just hits triggers all over the mental state to where it becomes
Why though?
ugly.
This is my thing. If you're a Dolphins fan and you want to see the team succeed, why wouldn't you not want your quarterback to be good? I don't understand it. Like, and I understand people say, "Oh, I don't think he's good enough," but at this point, you should be on board and you should be pushing for, "Hey, let's go get it. Let's do whatever we could do to surround this kid with good players, and let's go win a Super Bowl." Because you see, he can distribute, he can do the right things in terms of being a player. So it's like, why would we not be on board? Why are we still second guessing it? I feel like when we as a fan base just kind of get on board and say, "Hey, this is our guy. Let's go run the table and go get this thing." I feel like that's when everybody will kind of be on the same page in regards to where we need to be. And I don't know if we'll ever get there, right? I don't know if we'll ever get there, but I feel like that's where we need to be in order for the team and the organization and the Dolphins family to really come together and really embrace what we're doing. So just my thoughts.
Yeah, I agree. I just think that when you're dealing with people, you're dealing with people. You're not dealing with robots. Everybody has their own personality. Everybody has their own way of recovering and thinking. And to me, it's asinine to think that, okay, he's doing well, because for some people, they want to see the full season of him. I'm not gonna like call him all kinds of names because they want to see a full season. I'm with him. I want to see a full season of him, but you still can acknowledge what he's doing currently. Like, I remember when Tyreek first got here, there was this narrative. Lord, I'm using that word too. I hate the word narrative because
It is a
Twitter is so
narrative,
easy.
but it is narratives though.
Yeah, but
It
when they
literally
said
is.
he
It's
wasn't gonna
stories.
be able to throw the ball to Tyreek, but now he's throwing the ball to him, you still can't give him credit. So that's where I'm like, nah, just give the young man credit. He's doing his job. But I don't know if it'll ever be solved. To me, I hate when it starts getting personal and people want to meet up and fight and do all this other foolishness. I don't think nothing like this should be in that area, because to me, sports is a getaway. Like, I'm talking sports just to keep my mind off of this paper I gotta write. It shouldn't be somewhere where you're about to meet somebody at their house or outside and duke it out. But
Yeah. And
that
honestly,
is what it is.
I mean, it gets childish like that sometimes, but I don't take that serious. And you shouldn't either, because it's all in fun and games, and it's all in banter at that point, and it's internet gangster stuff. That's not where it's at. So
Facts.
like, don't take them dudes serious.
And the fact of the matter is, right, like, whatever your opinion is on Tua, you can have that, because I agree with like Nene's sentiment, because I still have questions. I believe Tua is going to stay healthy this season, but if someone uses that against me in a debate or something, I'm with them. I'm not going to debate them over that, because that is a hurdle I would like to see Tua overcome. Right? What I don't like, though, and again, it's when I use the word hypocrisy, I'm usually talking about the Dolphins, but this will go for other quarterbacks. And this is what I don't understand why Dolphin fans do this. The excuses that we don't give Tua, we'll give to guys like Justin Herbert and Josh Allen and Lamar Jackson. The narrative was, right, and I was a big proponent to bring Lamar Jackson in. But when people would tell me, well, Lamar Jackson don't have weapons to throw to, or if you hear that, right?
Yeah.
Well, we didn't make those excuses for Tua.
Bad.
Well, why are we making it for Lamar? Like,
and now they're saying that by Justin Herbert.
And now Justin Herbert, Doc, right? It's like, why do we have to do that?
But you know why, Ludo.
Well, tell
because
me why,
of course you know why, and that's because it fits their narrative. Their narrative that, hey, Tua isn't as good as these guys, but I used to always try to provide people with context. Okay, Tua's not as good as Justin Herbert. He hasn't played as good as Justin Herbert. But when you go back and look at the tape and you really break down the film, they make all the same throws. Justin Herbert definitely is more talented strength-wise, more of a physical presence, but Tua's more of a cerebral quarterback. He can pick you apart a little bit better. So when you go look at the film, you can see that, well, this guy does this very well. This guy does this very well. If you average it out, they're probably very similar in terms of like where they are in terms of quarterbacking. If you put all the same things around them, right? And that's the thing too, like putting all the same things around them, the receivers, the running back, the running game, the coaching staff, the support staff. I think that's a lot to do with it. So when you have one quarterback who has all of that around him and one quarterback that's lacking in that area, he can look drastically different from the other guy. And that's where I think Tua was in those first 2 years, is just looking drastically different from the Herbert and the Burrows, because he didn't have stuff around him that supported him playing consistently and playing consistently well. So that was my thought process. Go ahead, Doc. Go ahead.
No, I was just going to say it's interesting that you say that, because I had this conversation not too long ago when they were talking about Herbert versus Tua, and there was like the deep ball and the deep ball. Well, the one thing that Justin Herbert does is throw a beautiful deep ball.
Yep.
The issue is sometimes he might overthrow you, sometimes he may underthrow you
Not
because it's
consistent
down
with it.
But the thing with Tua, the ball gonna hit you in the hands. You might have to slow down a little bit, speed up, but that ball gonna be on you and you gonna catch his deep ball. And so, like you said, it really is what you're looking for in a quarterback. And Tua, in my mind, even in the younger days, he always had the elite traits. He was just getting healthy, learning, and all of the things around him.
Yeah. And I'm with you, man. Tom, what's going on, man? What's your thoughts? I know you just got in here, man. I'm gonna give some people some opportunity to talk a little bit. And
Tom? No. I've been enjoying it all. I've just been listening and taking it in. I'm just glad that Chihuahuas are gone, because last time I was in here,
What are you talking about, Chihuahuas?
there was so many Chihuahuas I couldn't hear nobody speak.
Oh yeah.
Oh, okay.
Hank, what's going on, man? How you doing?
Oh, I'm a Raiders fan, just let you know. It ain't been going good around the Raider Nation.
Oh,
Losing game after game after
yeah.
game.
Hey, y'all getting whooped, but hey, this a Dolphins channel. We don't talk Raiders over here, but it's okay, man. I appreciate you coming up, though.
What? You gonna kick me off because I'm talking about Raiders?
Yeah, we don't talk. We don't talk Raiders over here.
Fine,
I'm sorry.
Well, I can say that y'all are doing good though.
Okay, yeah. I appreciate you, man. Appreciate you, Fred. What's going on, Fred? I see you in here. What's going? I know you wanted to get in on this convo. What's up with you?
Oh yeah, what's happening, CB? What's happening, everybody on the panel?
What's good?
What up, Fred?
What's happening, Greg? Everybody, Lou.
The show quality just went down.
Nah, man. Fred gonna get in here. Hey, Fred gonna get in here. Hey,
Hey,
Fred gonna get in
man.
here and talk some real,
Say,
man.
It's exactly, CB. You said it, bro. I'm gonna talk some real, man.
Talk
Why
some
you
real,
so
Fred.
ruthless, bro?
Now you probably didn't know this, CB, man. But you know, if anybody was a less Tua guy, I hate the word hater, man.
Hey,
but if you want to use that,
hey, here we go.
Use that,
Hey, this is what I'm gonna do for you, Fred. I ain't even gonna call you a Tua hater. I'm
call me a non-believer, man. Call me a non-believer.
A Tua non-believer. You're a Tua non-believer.
Yeah.
There you
go.
Wow.
Nene was in there too. Lou was in there at one point.
Oh yeah.
But CB, you probably didn't know that. You know what I mean? But anyway,
come on,
look,
now.
man. Look, man. Look.
Come on,
I'm a grown. Look, CB, I'm a grown man. For what Tua's doing now, you know, I'm gonna give it to him. He's doing real good things, man. He's progressed in a lot of areas, man. You know that I kind of shitted on him for, man. You know, he's doing real good things, man. And Red said it earlier, man. It's just a human nature things, man. When he does good things, you know, I'm like, yeah. When he doesn't do good things, I'm like, oh, nah. That's just the way it is, man. And
But see, this is
but for right
this is
now,
but Fred, this is a good conversation to have, and I want to ask you a
yeah,
question.
man,
Right?
you know,
So you just said it. You said when he's up, he's playing well. When you're down, you tend to probably harp on, hey, I told you so. I told you.
No, CB.
Okay.
I don't go there as to where
okay.
I say I told you. Where I say I told you so. I go there
That's
where
cat.
I go where it's more. It's like, oh shit, he ain't have to throw that over there. Not I told you so. You know what I
Okay.
mean?
All
Like,
right. I got you.
it's
I
more
got
so
you.
that way, man. So like,
Hey,
so
Fred,
hold on.
Let him rock. Let him rock. Hold up. Let him rock, Lou.
And-
Let him rock.
I got
And
a question as soon as he's done.
Okay. Go
all
ahead.
right,
Go ahead.
and so so like, man, it's just what Red said, man. It's a human nature thing, man. I'm gonna like him at times. Then I'm be like, oh, he fucking up, and you know what I'm saying, and I don't know where to go with that yet, bro. You know what I'm saying? I
But
want
you
to call
gotta
him my,
have
Okay,
some
bet.
grace though, Fred.
you know what I mean?
No. Watch this.
So I'm in
Watch this,
between. I'm
CB.
in
Watch
between
this.
with it, CB.
Hey,
All
I
right.
know you in between, Fred. I know Nene don't like the word narrative, but here's a narrative right here that I want
I
Fred to
hate it.
debunk. I want Fred to debunk this narrative. Fred, do you believe Tua is a one-read quarterback, Fred, in your opinion?
No. I don't believe he's a one
Oh,
read
don't
quarterback.
you better
As a matter,
stand on
no,
it. You better
say
stand
no,
on that, Fred.
hold
Go
on,
ahead.
Lou.
Let him
And then
finish. Let him
I'm
finish.
gonna tell you, and I'm gonna tell you why too, Lou, because I watched the games, man, and I'm seeing him. You know what I'm saying? Go scanning over the field a little bit. Now, if he doesn't have that much
Oh,
time,
you
he's
switching
got to
up.
do what he has to do. But
Hey,
I've
Fred's being
noticed him.
objective, Lou. Stop that. He's being objective.
I've noticed in this game, he's starting to scan the field, hold the ball a little longer, and see what happens. You know what I'm saying? He's starting to do that. You know, in my eyes, man. In my eyes,
And Fred,
you know, and go
and
ahead, CB.
Fred, honestly, I appreciate that. There's a lot of people who can't get on here and do what you just did.
Oh, well, yeah, you know, CB, I'm a grown man. You know what I'm saying? Look, man, I'm still learning things, man. You know what I'm saying? We're never too old to learn things, man. You know what I mean?
Hey,
And
hey,
I see his
CB,
game up and some.
Yeah.
listen,
Doc, what's up, Doc?
Lewis got on board once he started talking to me about Tua. So don't start acting like Fred. It's all of that. Like, you ain't get on board with
Louis,
Tua
get him.
until
Hey,
I start
Louis.
cooking you about Tua, and you called me and said, "Doc, you right." So
Turn
don't
up,
be acting
Louis.
like that.
Hey,
Sir.
hey. So what you saying is, Doc, y'all had some late night therapy
Hey,
sessions.
man, I had to help him out, man.
Lou cried on your shoulder,
Can
and
somebody
he came around.
Can somebody please tell me who the hell that is? I don't even know who that is.
Hey, do y'all mind if I say something real quick?
Yeah, go ahead, Tom. Go ahead.
Of
All right,
course.
listen. We all like to say that saying, ball don't lie.
Yeah.
Well, stats don't lie. And what is Tua doing? And before you bring up Tyreek Hill, who's throwing the ball to Tyreek Hill? It's Tua. And he's number one in almost every category.
And that's
Stats don't lie.
true. That's true, right? Men lie, women lie. Them numbers don't lie. And I know people will say, "Hey, you cherry pick stats to create a narrative, right? To create a narrative about how good Tua is." But honestly, that's all. When you look at the NFL, everything is numbers driven. If you're putting up the numbers, you're gonna get the money, right? That's how they pay you as a football player. It's the numbers you put up. Right, a lot of that has to do with it. So we ain't no sugarcoating it. When you look at, he's first in like multiple categories and playing good football, you can't fight that. You can't fight it.
Well, see, CB, CB, that's one thing. That's one thing that I'm going to not crown it yet, man, because of the fact that Tyreek's already over 1,000 yards. But the rest of the receiving core combined, man, maybe having like what 400. You know what I mean? Like
No,
more than that. Come on,
No,
stop.
Tua's got a lot more.
You know what I mean? You know what I know?
Hell
It's
no.
more than that. Okay, yeah, it's more than that. But you know where I'm going
gotta
with it, though.
understand.
It just seems like
That's
it's
a $30 million
unbalanced in
man,
the
Fred.
receiving core, man.
Hey,
Hey,
listen to me.
Fred, that's a $30
hey,
million
just-
man. He got to get his. I'm sorry.
Jalen
I know
Waddle,
that- I know that,
Jalen
CB.
Waddle got 400 yards just in
Yeah,
case.
by
you
himself.
wonder.
I told you, Fred, a
Oh,
hater. I told you.
Nah, oh my God. See, here we go again, man. Like, come on, man.
No. Fred is a
Look.
non-believer.
Tua is at
Non-believer.
2,416 yards.
Tyreek's at 1,000 yards with Waddle at 400.
Yeah.
Would you
There's
say
still a-
Waddle's under? Would you say Waddle's underachieving right now, bro?
No.
With 400
No,
yards.
I think look,
with
this
400
is
yards.
my thing. Waddle
Fred.
has had the opportunities. He's dropped balls,
And he's been out
and he's
two
been
games.
out games. Yeah. So you got to expect that when you look
And the $30 million man is the first read, and the first read is always fucking open. So what do you want him to do? Not throw it to him?
The first read. The first read.
Wide
Okay,
open.
man. I tried to
Hey,
leave that first read. I
let
tried
me
to
ask
leave
you
that
this,
first
but I'm just
read thing
asking you this.
alone,
I'm
Reg.
just
I
asking
tried
you
to
this,
leave that
Fred.
alone, bro.
Let me
Hey
ask you
Joe,
this.
this I just want to address this, Fred. Now these numbers don't lie. 2,400 yards total, and that's 1,400 to other targets. So you're still looking at 1,400 yards outside of Tyreek, bro.
45% to Tyreek,
and-
55 to the other.
And Fred, how many times is Tyreek wide open?
Tyreek's
A lot.
open a lot, man.
A lot.
He's open a lot.
So,
man.
so
He's
you
open
want
a
him
lot.
to look?
But
So
you
want
see-
him to look at you? I'm just asking you. He's wide open. He's the first read in any offense that you run. He's going to be the first read. But we want Tua to look at him, who's wide
And
open,
throw it to Backs and Berrios.
Right?
Yeah.
No, come on now. Come on now. This
I'm
don't go
just
like that
saying, that's exactly how it's going.
no, it's not going like that, man. But it's not going like that. What I'm saying is, if Tyreek's over 1,000 yards already, man, now you're making me think that he is going to the first read. You feel what I'm saying?
Yeah, because he's open.
Yeah.
Okay, but we're talking about, but we're talking about he's not a first read quarterback though.
He's
he is still scanning because you said it, Fred. He is still scanning. But my thing is,
right,
we're gonna land this.
Scanning, yeah.
He's still scanning, but we're gonna land this right here. Tyreek is a $30 million man. He's the most dynamic weapon in the NFL. If you want to win games, you got to get him his touches. You got to get him the touches, right? And that's just the nature of the game. And you got to make Tyreek a threat, because it opens up everything else too.
What up,
And I'll say this. I'll say this too. Tyreek is a great hype man. Like he elevates everybody around him.
He gets them going.
He gets everybody going. Like when he went into the stands and started jumping with the fans, like that got the whole team doing their thing.
And the energy. Everybody feeds off Tyreek.
You heard Fred. You heard Fred up here lying.
Hey, look, say ACB.
No, I hear nothing. What happened?
ACB.
Fred
Check it out.
Tyreek,
you know Tyreek. You know. Come on, man. All right, whatever.
Look. I'm just
Tyreek.
Stop killing Fred, man. Let Fred live, man.
I just want to get this straight. I did hear that Tua's getting slack for throwing to a wide open receiver.
Yeah, Shake. Get him,
What
Shake.
the hell?
But see, CB,
they say don't throw.
Would you agree with me, bro? Would you
run it motion out the backfield when Tyreek opened for 50?
Go ahead, Fred. Go ahead.
Would you agree with me, man, that Tyreek would be Tyreek's a awesome decoy, bro? You feel what I'm saying?
Very awesome. But you got, in order for him to be that decoy, you got to get him the ball first. You got to make him a weapon first. Then he can play the decoy.
Teams already know he's a weapon.
Wait a minute. Wait.
Well, that's just like what that's like what the play action, or what's that? The play action. If there's no threat of the run, you can't use the play action.
But I can't always go with the play action because the running game has been shut down, man, the last 2-3 weeks, bro.
Did you say that you
They're
want
not
Tyreek
expecting
Wait.
to run
Hill
like
The
they
run
are.
to
game.
be a
Yeah, of course it's been
decoy?
Hold on,
shut
Wait a
down.
minute.
hold
Wait
on,
one minute.
I
I
told you the real
know.
Fred coming out. I told
Did
you.
you say Tyreek Hill should be a decoy?
We don't pay.
Yeah,
You don't pay a man 30 mil. Hey,
I said, would he be? I said, would he be an excellent decoy? I
he
didn't say
would.
Tyreek.
I mean,
Because he is that too. He is that too. Whether
I
you
mean,
want to acknowledge it or
everybody.
not, whether you want to acknowledge it or not, with Tyreek on the field, man, he's going to get that attention.
Of course,
Tyreek can be
he
hurt and
is.
still be on the field and still get the attention, bro.
Of course, he's gonna get the attention, right? But there's one thing, like that's like putting LeBron on the court, right? And saying LeBron is gonna get
I
the
know what you're
attention.
saying.
Look, but check this out, Fred. No, you don't understand, Fred.
Okay, so
you don't understand.
CB,
Look,
hold on, CB, hold on. So you
Fred,
saying
you gotta let me cook, Fred.
get him the ball no matter what.
Fred,
Go
you
ahead,
gotta let
CB.
me
Go ahead,
cook.
bro.
So
Bro.
you put LeBron on the floor. He's a threat, right? But with the ball in your hands, you gotta do something. You gotta go score it, or you don't draw in the defense. If you are just gonna sit out there and just run around and not look to get the ball and make plays, then you're not doing your team any justice. You gotta be getting the football.
Okay, CB.
That's all we're saying. That's all we're saying.
So you telling me get Tyreek the ball no matter what?
Because it's gonna open up.
Team, bro.
It's gonna open up everything
if he's triple
else.
team, bro.
It's gonna
not
open
even
up.
if he's triple.
No,
not even if he's triple team, CB.
Can't.
Because all of Tua's interceptions to me, bro, they're thrown in triple coverage, bro. All the interceptions.
Did you see the last touchdown last week? Right. The last touchdown last week when the whole defense went with Tyreek and he hit Waddle in the middle of the field.
Yes, I did. Yes, I did. Yes, I did see that. And that's the kind of attention Tyreek brings, bro. This is what I'm talking about.
But why does he bring that attention? Because he scored that touchdown early in the game.
Because he's that dude anyway, man. That's why he's getting the attention. What are you talking about?
What are you talking
about? I'm like,
what are you talking about? Good Lord.
Come on, hey, Fred, I get what you're saying. I'm just
do you?
Look, man. No, you don't.
Hey, I get what he's saying, but you just
CB, let me ask you one more thing. Let me ask you one more thing, bro. One more thing, and I'm gonna leave it at that, bro. All right, man. I'm gonna just this is the last one, bro.
The Wolfpack got questions tonight, man.
Check it out. CB,
we don't claim him, by the way.
If Tyreek has an injury, but he's playing, do you think defenses leave him alone then?
You said if Tyreek, what type of injury is it?
If Tyreek is injured,
but he's still playing, where he can't. I mean, the point where he can't.
But he can still be on the field. But he can still be on the field.
They're gonna pay attention to him, but if they know he's injured and he can't run, he's
man, there you go, man. They're gonna still be on Tyreek. But come on, man.
No.
Right, I'm gonna leave it at that, bro.
And I appreciate the input and the takes. Don't kill Fred, man. Fred, hey, you gotta have these conversations though, and I appreciate Fred.
Really?
Yeah.
If we're talking about interceptions, you don't have more interceptions, not by a lot. Josh Allen, Jalen Hurts, and Mahomes have more interceptions than Tua right now. In this
favorite quarterback.
All elite. All the big
I'm talking about where his interceptions are, bro. They're in triple coverage, man. If you guys ever see that, I don't know what games y'all been looking at, man.
Fred, they say
I've watched every game this year. Yeah, he has his fingers.
When you break down the film.
I got the film. Look, I got the film. I got the film in the Carolina Panthers game, bro.
Fred, hold on. Fred, calm down. Hold on. You just said that Tua's interceptions come in triple coverage. Most of them, he's
yes, they do.
Triple coverage. Oh, okay, and that's fine, Fred. That's your opinion. I'm not here. I'm just asking now. Hold on, Fred. I'm asking CB because people have told me CB does a great breakdown.
I know. I said.
Can y'all hear me?
Yeah, we hear you.
Oh,
hey, CB. Oh, you can't hear nobody? CB?
No, go ahead. I think my computer messed up, but go ahead. I hear you.
Yeah, man, because I'm spitting. That's why.
Hold on, Fred. I was just, oh shit, CB left.
No, his computer spinning.
Hey, Fred, they said you, Nene, and Flores wanted Jordan Love. I'm just saying.
Hey
Wait a
man,
minute, why my name got brought up?
Flores was my dude,
Oh,
man.
look at Doc. Look at Doc.
I'm
Flores was
just
my
saying.
dude, man.
I'm saying y'all was really on that Jordan Love thing. That's all I'm saying.
I can't believe Fred came up here lying. Fred be coming up
Hold
here
on,
talking.
Doc. Hold on.
Man,
All right. Let's. All right, we're all getting a little off topic. We're all getting in each other's feelings. So let's bring up a new topic while CB's getting his stuff together.
Yeah.
Let's
I
talk
got one.
about key.
I got
Hey,
one
let's
for
talk about
I'm
keys to the
back. I'm
game.
back. Y'all can hear me
Yeah.
now?
Keys to the game.
No, I
Hey,
wanted to
CB,
piggyback off
Hey,
of
hold
the
on. Let me answer Louis' question real quick. What was your question, Lou?
Hey, CB, when you do the film breakdown, Tua is in. I think he has 7 interceptions this season, 7 or 8.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Have you seen him throwing in the triple coverage? How many of those interceptions are in the triple coverage? I just asking because Fred said he throws
maybe double coverage, maybe 1 or 2 of the interceptions.
and no triple coverage.
No, I don't think it's triple coverage.
I was just wondering.
Fred, it's okay.
What about
I don't know
what
y'all
about
watching,
quadruple?
man.
What
I don't know
about
what y'all
Quadruple?
watching.
Come on, stop
I
playing.
don't know what y'all.
Stop playing.
I don't know what y'all watching, man. I don't.
Fred,
If you don't see where these interceptions,
I told you.
if you don't see where
Fred
these,
out here.
you don't see where these interceptions. Hey, what was the
First
interception
of
at the
all,
5-yard line? Where was that at,
a
bro?
lot of the interceptions been like 50-50 balls, Fred. Come on, man. And
Man,
that's
ain't been no.
one-on-one.
You got to be
Barrios,
you gotta be
one
crazy,
of them was the Barrios on a 50-50 ball, right? And I think another one was the Tyreek on a 50-50 ball. Like, there's a couple throws where he's high.
One was a tip ball in the end zone.
Yeah, I think some of them are high
One
over
was
the
a pass
middle.
interference.
That the one with the Eagles was double coverage. I'll give you that one, double coverage, but it was a pass interference.
I give you another one. I give you another one. The Panthers game at the 5-yard line.
Where did he throw it to?
He threw that. He tried to fit that in between 3 dudes.
It was a tip. Wasn't it a tip ball?
It was.
Tip ball.
Okay. Well, if the first defensive lineman he didn't catch it.
Okay,
The first linebacker didn't catch it, bro, and that was clearly a pass shouldn't have been thrown, bro.
I got
Come
you.
on,
Hey,
man.
but look, this is my.
I could put some more out there too if you just give me a second to remember on, bro.
This is my thing. Quarterbacks are gonna make mistakes. They're gonna throw.
I understand that. I understand that.
But you got to take the good with the bad, right? The same way he's giving you touchdown and yardage, you got to take some of these interceptions because he's throwing the ball in tight windows. He's trying to make plays. When you got a quarterback out there trying to make plays and throwing the ball all over the field and getting 30 to 35 attempts, you're gonna have those mistakes. I mean, you got to take the good with the bad. Fred.
Hey, CB, Fred
that's the nature of the game. You got to chalk those up to the game, Fred.
Hey, CB,
they're not mistakes, bro. They're forces, man.
Hey, there you go. Hey, CB, Fred don't care about the 18 touchdown. He care about the 7 interceptions.
Come on, Fred.
He don't care about the 18 touchdowns. You know what I'm saying?
You should be caring about the touchdowns and the wins.
So what's the point of I care about everything we doing, bro. I care about what Tua's doing. He's doing a real good job.
Care about the interceptions.
But what's the sense of me? What's the sense of me giving my take on things, man? If you guys are going to be like, oh, Fred, I'll see what Fred's trying to do. He's like, I'm not trying to do nothing, man. I'm just seeing what I'm seeing in the games, bro. That's all.
Which is cool.
That's what I was saying earlier.
As long as it's film based and not
but
just
if you're
making
seeing
shit up.
wrong, what are we supposed to say?
It is film based, bro. It is film based. I'm seeing it on TV. What more film can I have myself, man? I'm sitting in front of the TV looking at it.
This is what I want y'all to understand too. Watching the game from the broadcast view via TV one time doesn't give you the right to go back and critique players and say, oh, he played a bad game, or he did this and he did that. You didn't really watch the game like you needed to watch the game. You don't know what the coach is telling them to do. You don't want to know what the coverage is. You don't have the ability to do that, bro. You really don't, Fred. So when people watch the game from the broadcast view and they say, oh, I think he had a bit. Coaches don't even, when coaches get in the press conference after the game, they don't declare whether a guy had a good game or a bad game or not. Like if he throws 3 or 4 interceptions, yeah, he had a bad game. But they're not saying, oh, Eichenberg had a bad game. They don't even know. They got to go back and watch it themselves. They haven't seen what he did on each play, bro. It's very hard to evaluate. So for us to be coming out with these narratives,
I feel you on that.
For us to be coming out with these narratives and people haven't like watched the film and like graded these guys out and see how they did, because honestly, they're gonna lose on certain plays. That's just the nature of playing NFL football. You play 60 plays in a game, you're probably gonna lose on 10 to 15 of those. That's the nature of it.
Nah, Dre, he switched up, Dre. You should have heard him earlier. He switched up.
Damn, boy, y'all on it tonight, boy. Y'all on it tonight.
Right,
but
man,
hey,
right,
I really wanted to.
But with that CB, I'm gonna say let's go, fans. Let's go out, show out. That's why I'm gonna leave it at that, bro.
Hey, appreciate you coming through.
Fins
it's
up.
Always love, bro. Fins up.
Fans up.
Man, I like the show. I like the show, CB, man. Yeah, real good show, bro. I had a real good time, bro.
Appreciate you, bro. Let me appreciate you, Fred. Fred the homie, man. Fred can come through anytime and hang out with me, man. He a little reckless sometimes. I ain't gonna say he ain't reckless, but it's all in fun. It's all in fun. I'm gonna get one more person. T Berry, what's good with you, man? What's going on with you? T Berry the homie. Where you at? You on mute? Maybe you're not here yet. All right.
No.
Hey, I can't. You in the blender. Nah, you in the blender. Come back. Come back. Hit the link again. Hey, I'm gonna pull this video up. I wanted to take a look at this video real quick. We're gonna discuss it. We're gonna touch on it a little bit. I think this is a good video, some good insight to Mike McDaniel as a coach. This is Dan Orlowski kind of talking about Mike McDaniel. Good video to watch. I like to get insight into our coach's mindset and like how he leads, right? Because honestly, this has really been a good transformation as to where our team is right now. This team is 6-2. We haven't been 6-2 since 2001. So it's been a long time, but I want to know why it's happening. And I want to be able to have these discussions with people and talk to them about like what's different and Mike McDaniel and not comparing him to Brian Flores, because that's really not what it's about. It's just about almost like understanding coaching styles and like where this team is and where the NFL is trending towards. So we'll take a look at this. This is Dan Orlowski talking about Mike McDaniel. Check it out.
What's going on, everyone? Out in Germany for the Dolphins Chiefs game Sunday morning. We just sat down with Mike McDaniel. Unbelievable. Dolphins, your head coach is an absolute stud. Saw the Dolphins practice yesterday as advertised. Going to see the Chiefs today. Cannot wait. Got to spend some time with them last night as well, and will this afternoon. I wanted to share something because we just left being with Mike for about an hour, and X's and O's wise and football scheme and his stuff with Tua and Tyreek, like we'll save, certainly I will, a lot of that for the broadcast. But going into that, I'd never spent time with him. Going into it, I knew he was really smart. I knew he was really good X's and O's and football-wise and scheme-wise. But walking out of it, more impressed, or as impressive as he is with that stuff, more impressed with him when his understanding of coach and his role and the responsibility. I think like that was what the big takeaway is. I don't know if I've ever heard a coach talk the way he talks.
Now, I wanted to stop it there because he talks about, hey, Mike McDaniel has it kind of figured out X's and O wise, right, Lou? Then he talks about also how Mike McDaniel also understands the role of being a coach, right? And he's going to go into more detail about this, but I think that's the balance of being an NFL coach and being a coach, period, at any level, whether it's high school or whether it's college, Pop Warner, Pee Wee, just understanding, hey, I got to put the players in position to be successful from a football standpoint, but I also have to get them right mentally, right? And I have to challenge them mentally, and I have to keep them focused mentally on what we're trying to accomplish. And I think that's something that he goes on to talk about a little bit more in the video, right? But let's go ahead and I'm gonna finish it real quick, and then we're gonna dive deeper into the topic.
And talked about his role as head coach of this team. And to hear him talk about the responsibility that he feels, embraces about coaching, and the obsession about it, and the appreciation for it, and how he understands how much his role is connected to everybody that he comes across within their organization. I don't know if I've ever heard a coach talk that way or felt it when he talked about it. And it was so impressive. As impressive it is to watch their tape and see the schemes, it was even more impressive to hear him talk about Tua and Tyreek and the people on their team and how important his role is and the way he sees it. And it's rare in the NFL to hear a coach talk like this. And it should be celebrated. Unfortunately, it's rare, but it should be celebrated because out of all the coaches that certainly I've come across, played for a bunch, whatnot, I don't know if I've ever heard a guy talk about the role of coaching in the NFL the way that Mike McDaniel did. It was unbelievable and one of the cooler experiences that I've had when it comes to like around the game of football. Dolphins, you have a stud as a head coach.
CB, check this out. Now,
That's dope. That's dope.
Listen, when I sent you this clip earlier, CB, and I said we should talk, this should be one of the topics to talk about. There was one thing, and I know you paused it right before he got to that comment.
Yeah.
We all knew that he was a good coach, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like coaching X's and O's, smart guy coming from Yale, being around the game since he was a ball boy in Denver. We knew the coaching aspect he was going to be good. When I first listened to the video though, what caught me was when Dan Orlovsky said it's everybody in the building, right? It's not only the coaching aspect. And I know CB before you said it's not to compare Brian Flores to Mike McDaniel, but I am.
Yeah.
See, Brian Flores, in my opinion, I'm only speaking for me, he also had the coaching aspect down. I don't think coaching was the problem. That's why even when they fired him, you even heard Stephen Ross and Chris Greer say it wasn't so much coaching.
Mm-hmm.
It was around the building. And that right there for me is what Mike McDaniel, when I said it earlier about him having a pulse on the football team, it's not only the football team, it's just the organization in general.
Yeah.
I mean, that guy, when he walks around, I'm pretty sure the cleaning crew, the cooks, the chef, the training staff, it's the HR departments, it's everybody he's managing. And that right there to what Dan Orlovsky was saying when he said he's never seen that. I just think the way Mike McDaniel is in his bag right now, not only from the coaching perspective, CB, but just the way he's managing everybody in the organization for once. And this, I know Naaman will like this. The last 20 to 25 years, this organization has been a dumpster fire. And I think now Mike McDaniel is the calming presence that everybody falls in line with him, right? Like we always said, Brian Flores was a leader because you have to be hard and poke your chest out and be, Mike, what Mike McDaniel's showing you, you can be the fun, happy-go-lucky guy and get the job done as well. Listen, man, I like everything about McDaniel. I know we're going to talk about it, but that's just my 2 cents. I think touching everybody in the building from top to bottom, that's why this organization is finally starting to see stability on the, inside the building and on the field.
But Lewis, you make a great point because it's the buy-in, right? So I know about from talking to people and guys that I played with and that went through the New England system. And Bill Belichick is totally different from Mike McDaniel, but everybody in the building, from the front office to the secretaries, bought into that, right?
Yes.
Right.
So
right.
you can be who you are if everybody buys in, and that's the thing that did not happen with Brian Flores is everybody didn't buy in.
Doc.
Some people thought this about it. Some people thought that about it. So when people say, the kids today, they just want somebody to be a patsy and, it's a this and this. No, it's everybody in the organization buying into it. And
I hadn't heard that. this is the first time I heard that, and I'm going to give you an analogy, and I hope you can follow me real quick with this. This is my analogy of what I just heard about Mike McDaniel. Okay. Think of chess.
Okay.
The king is your coaches and your staff. Your queen is your quarterback, your bishops, your knights, that's your offensive line, that's your wide receivers, all this.
Right.
Your pawns are your players. You know, the not big players. Right now, Mike McDaniel is not on the chessboard. He is the chess player. Not only he's controlling it all.
And I agree with you there. And what I basically
he is
Mike,
a savant.
When you take a step back and you look at it, right, and you look at Mike McDaniel as a coach, right? Like usually coaches are so into the football aspect of it that they really can't, like, because you really have to stretch yourself. Football coaches, these head coaches spend a lot of hours at work. They have families. I don't think we realize how many hours they're spending at the office traveling. Like they barely see their families in the offseason. I mean, during the season. Right? They barely see their families. So I think I think when it comes to Mike McDaniel, his wife understands him to the point where she lets him do his thing and she supports him in what he's doing.
They're going to the game.
And I think all of this kind of plays into who he is as a person too. So the fact that he had the alcoholic situation and that he got fired, I think he realizes that, hey, these are opportunities that people usually don't get. So I need to take advantage of it. I need to seize it, and I need to make every ounce of this, I got to put my all into it. And I think that's where he is. And I think for him to be as humble as he is and appreciate the coaching position that he has, usually coaches, like Dan Orlowski said it, like usually coaches at the NFL level just aren't like that, right?
How many other coaches never actually played the game? Because I'm sure he might have played.
Yeah, he
played in college.
He played in college.
He played at Yale.
Yeah. So he played in college. But how many other coaches, like when Dan Orlowski said, hey, usually coaches aren't like this at the NFL level. You're right. Usually coaches are like this at like the high school level, where they're like, hey, I just want my kids to be successful. I want to help them become men, grow them into men, put them into college. Like that's usually what high school coaches are doing because they're so in tune with their players. They see them every day. They're like family. And I think Mike McDaniel has kind of taken that to the NFL level. And it's not just about these guys making money or these guys winning a bunch of football games for him. I think it's more to it.
I would somewhat disagree with that. My head coach when I was at the Oilers and Jeff Fisher and Jack Pardee were about building men and knowing that this thing about helping people get better as football, the correlation between being an athlete and real life is a real thing. But again, I think that there's a way that organizations go about their business. And with Mike McDaniels, there is a way that everybody, you can call a bad play, CB, but if everybody believes in that shit, man, it's going to work. You know what I mean?
Hey, CB, have you seen the Rich Eisen video?
Yeah, we're gonna, and that's what we're gonna show next. I just want to, I wanted to touch on this one first. Did anybody else have any thoughts on this one that they want to?
Yeah, I'm just curious, and I love everything you're saying, but here's the thing I think we do sometimes is jump the gun a little bit. If the season does not end up in a playoff win, does all of this flower giving still happen?
I think he's still a great coach, even if we
yes,
don't win
he's a great coach. Okay. That's what we were talking about earlier.
Yeah, for sure. And that's what I was saying when we were in the other space. I hear everything, but maybe it's just my military mindset.
It's very hard. Yeah, it's very hard to win in the NFL. Look at it differently.
If he was to lose in the first round of the playoffs, are we still giving him that? He got the locker room. He got the concession stands. He got the t-shirt sellers.
Yes, Nene. Yes. You know why, Nene? You know why, Nene? Because it's like, remember what we were talking about earlier, and it's you see the progression from Mike McDaniel. That's why I asked you, Nene, in the last space we were in. From year 1 to year 2, have you seen a drop off? Because I could argue Mike McDaniel has gotten better this season. Look at the play calling. Look at the time management. Look at the it
Yeah,
feels
he
different
improved,
this
Lewis.
year.
I agree with you, man. He done
Like
improved, man. He done made
right.
major strides.
So again, I don't see that going away. I just think that he's very comfortable. It's the same thing with Tua. Like Tua just looks comfortable in everything he's doing. Like his life has a balance now about him. He knows his wife and kids and family on that end, they're taken care of. Tua walks into the building, he knows where every room is now. He knows everybody that's in that building. There's a comfort level. And I think Mike McDaniel is the biggest reason for that. And it's just not Tua. Like the narrative that Mike McDaniel got this job because he wasn't coming here to fix Tua. That might have been the case maybe immediately when they hired him, right?
Yeah.
But right now where we are, CB, and going into 2 years in now, Mike McDaniel has not only touched Tua, he's touched everybody.
Yeah.
And again, when you got the Doc, I think Doc hit it right on the head. When you get everybody to buy in, it doesn't matter if maybe one game it doesn't go your way, or if one play you call a bad play and something bad happens. I think this team, where their mindset is and the comfort level they have with Mike McDaniel, they feel a comfort level, and I just think it makes everybody play better. They feel better, and again, not trying to. I think I like the way Brian Flores was too, but Brian Flores never had the building and everybody buying in like Coach McDaniel has.
Hey,
So that's
speaking of
credit to him,
buying
man.
in, though, let me jump in real
Go
quick.
ahead, T-Bro.
Speaking of buying in, right? Like, we got to give some credit to Chris Greer, man. I know we talking about Mike McDaniel right now, right? But Chris Greer, the one that's putting this shit together, dog.
They don't like that now.
I'm not.
Hey,
Hey,
man, it is what it is. The man been here making moves. Remember, we said
And
that
that's why we
Austin
in cap
Jackson
space
shit
hell.
wasn't looking right. But now how that shit looking? You know what I mean? And I was a big critic of that dude, man. I thought that was a failed draft pick like Noah Iguanagami. But right now, look how this shit looking. And I know we talking about McDaniel, so I don't want to get sidetracked and pull us in the wrong direction. But again, buying in, this is exactly what Chris Greer saw, I believe. You know what I mean?
You know I'm about to go off on this one.
Hey,
No.
but Nene, I know your counter is we in cap hell and all of this, the money situation.
And half of
right?
our team is at the emergency room because he gets old players. But go ahead with your kumbaya.
But I understand what you're saying. But even though that's the case, Nene, we still 6-2 and we still winning football games.
I hear you, and I give that to McDaniel's scheme. And he got the local hospital as his team, and he's doing the work. Nah, I don't agree with that Chris Greer stuff. No.
But I get what you're saying. But I mean, when we get back to Mike McDaniel, I think he's doing a good job. Like point blank period, he could lose a game.
I agree with that.
And even some of these fourth down calls are aggressive, and I'm like, damn, like bro, you getting a little out of pocket. But he's done it so much successfully that I'm learning that I just gotta trust him. Right? I just got to trust him and trust his decision making. And even if he doesn't get one, hey, I think the team has taken on the personality of Mike McDaniel. And they're like, hey, when shit happens, we just bounce back and we roll with the punches and we keep it going. Like I mean, honestly, teams take on the personality of the coach. And it seemed like when we had Brian Flores as a head coach, we were just nervous. We played up tight. It was always like we can't make a mistake. We can't.
Yeah, but it was 10-6 too. Now
it was, and it was 10-6. But
don't do that now.
And it was 10-6, but we never made the playoffs, right?
You know what I'm waiting to see though.
Hold on. It just wasn't. It wasn't something that we could. I almost felt like we could sustain. It was like our defense played lights out, and our offense played mediocre, just enough for us to get by. And I know the defense every game isn't going to go out and play lights out. It just ain't going to happen. So there needs to be some balance offensively, defensively, special teams. Like I feel like that needs to be there because you aren't going to have a great offensive game every game. You aren't going to have a great defensive game every game, but you got to have some balance in between those that can kind of pick you up when you're not playing well on the other side. So
Nene, go first.
What was that?
Oh,
I was saying you go first. Whatever, what you got to say? I
No,
got
my
something.
whole thing is I just don't think you need to tear down one to bring
Oh
up the
no,
other.
you don't. You don't.
And
I think,
and the reason why I say that is I remember we talked so much about Flores, but do we remember before Flores? That
I do.
never gets talked about. And why he was hired. He was hired to be exactly who he is, because that team was out of control. I have a friend, I won't say the name of the person, but they said that team was drunk, doing all types of stuff. A lot of stuff didn't meet the media, and he really had to go in there like Joe Clark and clean up some work ethic. And I know a lot
that's
of people
crazy.
didn't like it, but I'm sorry. When I look at the filming years, when I look at Cam Cameron, when I look at Gase, you know, I just hate that we always go back. Well, Flores, no, there was like 3 or 4 or 5 different things that have to be cleaned up from top to bottom. So that's why
Nene, I would say this, that that's the one thing that I hear the players say, though. Mike McDaniels knows who to be hard on. They don't say that he isn't hard. They talked about that last week in the interviews. Like, he knows that Tua might not be a guy that he can come down on. But then he also recognizes that this guy might be somebody that he can.
Oh, you're
breaking
breaking up,
up. But
Yeah,
I
you're
get
breaking up.
understanding player recognition. I'm not denying all of that. But why do we just stop at the Brian Flores era all of the time?
Oh yeah. No, I think
why?
that we're just. I think
it doesn't make sense to
you're
me.
only as good as your last. I think you're only as good as your last change,
Because I'm
right?
sure
The
under
last
Flores I
transition.
wasn't talking
So
about Gase like this. So you know, and I have my
Gate was 10 times worse than
he was terrible. He was
Flores.
That's all I'm
Right.
He was
saying.
terrible. He was terrible.
Yeah, he was horrible.
Yeah, he
And
was
Phil
terrible.
been one too much better.
Yeah,
Man,
He
I ain't
had to
gonna lie. I
clean up a
love the
lot, dog.
Flores,
He
man,
had to
but it
clean up a
just
lot.
didn't get along with the quarterback he drafted, and that is detrimental to the team. Period.
You ain't gonna win if that happened.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
You can't win.
here's my thing. Why? I guess can't we just give McDaniel his flowers with always not bringing up Flores? It doesn't make sense to me.
Yeah,
That
that's
man has
fine.
moved on.
And we are too. We moved on
I
too. We
don't
got a
think
better team.
so.
We good, man. We
I
good
don't
over here.
think so.
Yeah, we definitely moved on.
We
Yeah,
good. We
when you
good.
get married, you can't keep bringing up your baby mama, man.
Nah,
You're married now. Move on.
we ain't messing with Flores. We ain't messing with Flores. But I'm gonna share one more thing with you guys. I wanted you guys to watch this. And this was very telling, especially towards the end of the video. Rich Eisen talks about how McDaniel is preparing the team. And I wanted to touch on this too. Shout out to Lou. Lou be sending me all this good stuff on Twitter, man. Lou is the Twitter guru. He be out there in them Twitter streets, man. So shout out to Lou for sending me this. But this is a good
Ain't
video.
worth a damn.
Yeah. I mean, he is a host sometimes. He is a host sometimes.
Right.
He is a Hey, but let me show y'all this real quick. Hold on, let me take a look at this. And I'll stop it probably at some point, but let's take a look at this real quick. All right.
Unbeknownst to anyone in that room, Mike McDaniel was just 20 minutes removed when he said that from wiping tears from his eyes. And
Now, guys, this is Rich Eisman, and what they do is they have these press meetings weekly before the game, especially big games, primetime games. They basically go through and have meetings with the NFL Network, ESPN, a bunch of different organizations, and they have these press meetings to just kind of talk about the team so they could get a feel for where the team is right now. And this was Rich Eisen coming out of one of the meetings with Mike McDaniel. So this is post-meeting with Mike McDaniel. Let's go back real quick. Go ahead.
unbeknownst to anyone in that room, Mike McDaniel was just 20 minutes removed when he said that from wiping tears from his eyes and causing all of us in the room to get choked up also. And let me tell you how that came about. That I asked Mike McDaniel in the meeting, what did he see in Tua that perhaps no one else saw, or the previous people who led us all in the media to think that Tua didn't have it anymore, that he saw something different. And he went on a soliloquy to talk about how he watched all the film about Tua, and he saw somebody throw 20 different out routes against significant coverage on film. And these are the types of throws that he said make your heart go like this, and he pounded his chest. And he saw somebody that kept on throwing accurate footballs into windows that few players can. And he said that was one of the things that sold him on Tua, that he was an accurate thrower of the football. He was someone that could put the ball in certain windows. And he was somebody who also had absolutely zero fear in doing it. And also had a situation that he was overcoming where a lot of people said that he couldn't. And how his own mother, Mike McDaniel, in his upbringing, kept telling him how special he was, and how a parent telling a child how special he or she is something that is beyond powerful. And the belief that somebody has in them, placed in them by somebody who throws their arms around them, is a power that he knows as a coach he can deliver to every single one of his players, and felt that way about Tua from jump, and said that Tua needed that, and that Tua has thrived amongst the love that he is the rest of he's feeling from his teammates, and also that he had a certain belief in Tua that was unshakable. And I even wrote down what he said, that he had an unshakable faith in Tua, and throwing, love in his direction is something that an only child with no siblings can relate to. And he was referring to himself as that. Come on, coach, you're going to make me cry in here. And McDaniel talked about how his love for Tua and how it's an important part of coaching. As he said that many coaches feel entitled to the power that they have, and instead don't relate to the part about coaching about all my years as a professional in the WNBA, and most of every years in college, I never had a coach who talked about players or loving coaching players like that, and I would have ran through a wall for him. And he talked as well about how he...
Now, let's just stop it there, right? Because we'll stop it there, and we'll kind of touch on this. Lewis, like I said, Lewis sent me this, and this is Rich Eisen after the meeting, with Mike McDaniel. He touches on a couple of things, like just Mike McDaniel's really throwing love at Tua. And we've heard all of this before. We've heard the conversations about him taking this seriously, that, hey, I only am with these guys for a short period of time. I have these guys' dreams and these aspirations in my hand. Like, I take it very seriously, right? And now Rich Eisen is saying, hey, I really haven't heard a coach talk like this. But we've heard Mike McDaniel talk about this a number of times. Like, why do we think this is important for the football team? And I'm going to ask you this, Nene. Like, why do you think this is important for a football team? Why do you think this could be essential to their success?
I mean, I just think, honestly, football everywhere, as I'm in the comments talking to some people about the same thing, the game has changed. Players have changed. You can't go about it how I grew up. When somebody told me to shut up, I didn't say why. Right. Or go to the police and cry. This is a totally different generation on how people are raised. And I just want to clarify something. Just because I say let's just wait for the season, because we were talking about it in the other space. I've seen how wins make people feel, and I've seen how losses make people feel. You go from a hero to, matter of fact, Coach McDaniel said the same thing, right? So I just think relationships are important. You got to be able to communicate, obviously. I think Mike McDaniel is doing a good job. It's just I'll be honest with you. I don't think you have to bash another person to make someone else look
We're
good,
not
and
even
that's why I
talking.
keep saying what I'm saying.
Yeah. And I get that. We're not even talking about that. But I mean, I know you're saying like with this approach, like I think we got some feedback from somewhere. I don't know where that's coming from. But if you're not talking, please go on mute for me because it'll help. But I mean, we're not even I mean, just talking from a coaching aspect, like the game has changed. Players are changing, coaches are changing. I think the game is transforming to being something that it was even when I played. I mean, I played with coaches who were very hard on me, right? Yelled at me, cursed at me, gave me a hard time when I didn't make plays. But I took it as like tough love. Like if my coach wasn't getting on my ass, then he didn't care, right? I took it like that, right? Now, players today don't really take it like that because their parents may be coddling them. They may be allowing them to get away with stuff they usually wouldn't get away with back in the day. I think a lot has changed. I think, the landscape of raising kids in America has changed with social media, with all this stuff that's going on. So, of course, that's a thing. I think times are changing. I think coaching is changing. I think coachings are going from being hard asses to transitioning to being guys who are a little bit of both, who are relationship guys and who are hard asses, or they got some hard asses on the staff. I think that's real. But Doc, what's your thoughts on like Mike McDaniels and the way he approaches player personnel and player relationships? I mean,
Well, I look at it from the standpoint of when I played, my coach was a hard ass. And because my dad was the same way, I didn't have a problem with it. And that was in 1988 through 1991. But I also know that
Damn, I
50%
was
of
born in '88, OG.
yes, sir. But I also know that 50% of my team, even back then, hated my coach because he was such a hard ass. And we take this narrative that, well, players today and players back then, there were players back then who hated this fuck you attitude that coaches had. Excuse my language. You know what I'm saying? We always just seem to say like that was the thing. There
we
were
had to
people,
deal with it. You had to deal with it.
you had to deal with it, but people didn't like it. People weren't successful because of it. Just like in today's society, even at my school, I make decisions every day on how I'm going to deal with different students. One student comes in my office and I'm going off on him. Shut the hell up. Don't say nothing in my office. I'm the only one talking. Other kids come in my office, I have to wrap my arms around them. And that's what you have to do as a coach. Understand who you're talking to. As a parent, understand what moves your child. I look at it from the standpoint, I said this in another space. My brother ain't care nothing about a beat down. My daddy grabbed that stitching cord, that whip, that whatever. He was going to take that. He didn't care. Me, I ain't want no parts or none of that. But my dad knew how to deal with my brother and he knew how to deal with me. And that's what we have to do. So this narrative about, well, back in the day, players was, we just dealt with it because we ain't have no options. But guys did not like it. A lot of guys did not like and did not perform for those coaches.
I agree with you wholeheartedly there. Is there anybody else that wanted to talk on this a little bit? Monty, I see you in here.
Well, I wanted to say with Doc, just because some people like the softer touch, other people like the rougher touch. To me, it's all about balance.
Right, that's what I'm saying.
You can have a coach that's hard, and then you can have someone that's a little bit different. I just, for me, think it's unfair, and it's even an injustice to Mike McDaniel that we're not just focusing on Mike McDaniel. in what he's doing. Because even the interviewer kind of threw that softball out there. Because Tua has only been a professional under 2 coaches. So let's be honest who he was talking about. And I hate that the media puts a battery pack on some of these fans because as you can even see in the comments, some people are not even listening. I'm not the one that brought up flow. The conversation brought up flow.
Yeah, but it's no big deal. I mean, we don't even. I
Yeah,
mean,
But
it's just so
Nene,
weird.
let me say this to you. If Mike McDaniel is not putting foot in some of those guys' tail, and if he's being kumbaya to everybody, he's doing a disservice to the men.
exactly.
Because some men, they need the foot in the
Right,
butt. They need
right,
that.
right.
So you have to your point, be able to have that discernment on who needs what. And like I said, as a principal in my school, sometimes a kid would go off and I'll start going off on them and they just break down crying. And then I say, okay, I can't deal with this kid like that. You know what I'm saying? He
That
can't handle that.
305 come out of you,
You know what
huh?
I'm saying? You know what I'm
That was a
saying?
good
So
sound.
they should have talking in
You
my
and I,
office.
Go ahead, Mounty. Go ahead.
Nene, you and I ought to know as former GIs.
Yeah, we think
How many
differently.
times?
Nene,
How
you
many
got some
times have we
feedback.
seen? How
You
many
got
times have we seen? Can you hear me?
yeah,
Yeah,
you
I
got
can
a
hear you
little.
well,
You
sir.
got a little feedback. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Yeah, but how many times have you had that asshole leader that he's a dictator or he's a totalitarianism. So he's got an edge to him all the time. It's all this and all that, and no praise for anything. So, you have to, you have to have a, you have to, sometimes you got to have leadership, an iron fist with a velvet glove. So,
I
you,
like
you
that.
gotta, you gotta lead, but you also got to be able to put people in their place when you need to.
Well,
And
Mountie, as a vet, you will understand some of depending on when you came in. My marker is 9/11 when it changed because, or we call it BDUs when we actually had to shine our boots and these jokers walking around in
Hoorah.
pajamas. So there was no book to transition. There was no class. You go from getting what we call smoke, having to do push-ups, sit-ups, getting yelled at, cursed out, being called, and now you can't even correct the soldier without somebody filing a complaint. So I think that's a problem too. But
that's light, and that's America. That's what I'm saying. It's just changed. Like the landscape
and it
of
changed so
the country.
drastic.
It did.
And,
It did.
and I think and it's nothing against the younger generation. I'm all about. I think someone said it early. You can learn from everybody, whether young, old, indifferent. It just gets to the point when people get stuck in their opinions, they can't hear or see anything differently. You could be talking to them clear as day and they still can't hear you. But as
Yeah.
long as he's effective, the only thing I say is this, and I think this goes back to my military thing. I get it that you come to work on time and you're doing what you're supposed to do. Yeah, but the day doesn't stop. The evaluation continues. It's an ongoing thing. So that's why when I say wait, I want to see the end of the season before I give my full evaluation, and I don't think
Of
that's
course.
wrong.
And I'm fine with you giving your full evaluation after the season is over. I'm just saying what we're seeing in Mike McDaniel as a coach is something that's it seems like it's something that's transcending as far as like the way the media talk about him, the media speaks about him, and the conversations they have with him. This isn't. I mean, of course, the assessment is still going on. I mean, he still has a full season. I mean, half a season ahead of him in the playoffs and Super Bowl, hopefully. So, of course, that's ongoing. But we have to appreciate what he's doing as a head coach for the Miami
Yeah, because
Dolphins
he
and for
don't
the
got
football
us
team.
feeling queasy at all.
Yeah, and I'm with you. And I used to get in games and feel queasy about like the way we were playing, or if we went down, it just was like I don't know if this team has the resolve to fight back. Like
That's a good word.
like this team is. And even when we look at last year, the team had roller coasters, players out, quarterbacks out, all type of stuff going on. But we still found a way to fight at the end of the season to get in the playoffs. fight in the playoffs. Like this team, he's building a team that is built to win based on all the adversity they've faced in the past. So I think that's where we are with it. But I'm gonna continue this interview. I'm gonna go ahead and hit play, and then we'll rock it out.
Sent Tyreek Hill into the offseason with ideas on how to become better, fundamentals, and the fundamentals to become better. I asked him what he meant by that, and he said he's talked to Tyreek Hill about how he's the fastest player on the field and how everyone really has to adjust to him because of his speed, and to make sure that his routes needed to be run with certain precision and certain concepts defensively that are being played against him. He needs to expect with certain precision so Tua can be ready for Tyreek and vice versa. And I just sat there and thought to myself that a man who's so self-aware of his own upbringing, he said he'd been dreaming of the job of being a coach in the league since he was 4, that somebody who has such self-awareness about himself is creating an atmosphere within that Miami Dolphins locker room and offense about self-awareness of everyone else around in a system that's very intricate, from scheme to motions to timing. And it's all working in many ways because of the atmosphere this guy is creating, which is, I think, the issue many people had with Mike McDaniel. It wasn't just, can he scheme? Of course he can scheme. Is he smart? Yes, he's smart. But how will he coach men in the NFL in a professional locker room environment? And he's killing it. He's killing it from this point of view, including working 20-hour Tuesdays to install everything. So every player walking in, as we learned from some of the players here this week, every player walks in on Wednesday and not only knows the game plan, but his specific responsibility on game day. So all they have to do is execute it. It's been done by McDaniel and his staff all day Tuesday. I just sat there. I'm not going to lie to you guys. I just sat to myself. I'm like, this dude's got it, and they are ready to roll.
So he said something interesting there. I didn't know this was a thing. So Tuesday is when they do the installs, game plan for the upcoming team. The players know exactly what plays they need to run, exactly what they need to be able to execute. It just seems like, and some coaches are like this, some coaches aren't. Some coaches are very organized to the point where it's almost like the offense, the defense knows exactly what they should be doing in order for us to be successful. And that's not always the case in every locker room. I think there's a lot of locker rooms around the league where there is some gray area as to what we're supposed to be doing and what we're trying to accomplish.
Well, I would tell you this, CB, just from my career.
Go ahead.
What happens is typically what happens, and when I heard that, I was shocked. And again, I'm far removed from the game.
And you said you were shocked, right?
Yeah, okay. I'm far removed from the game because there was this incremental implementation of the game plan, right? You did on Mondays, you did 20 to 20. On Wednesdays, you did from 20 to 20. And then on Thursdays, you did coming out. And then Friday, you did going in and, red zone and all that.
Red zone, 2 minutes, stuff like that, right?
So when he says that on when they came in, they knew it all. Everything was done. That was shocking. That was like, oh shit, that they working for real.
That's like overload, bro. That's like information overload, and guys know exactly what they do on Tuesday. I mean, that means on Wednesday, Thursday, Fridays.
Man, that's crazy.
You're just fine tuning what you've already done, and honestly, I think that's why the offense operates at such a high level. And that's what I've seen from this offense. Honestly, it's just the timing, the route, the precision, where guys are supposed to be. They're there. The ball's coming out before they get there. That's what I'm saying. I'm seeing us be ahead of the defenses, right? Offense is meant to attack. And it looks like we're actually attacking and not just taking what the defense gives us, right? And that was the thing in the past, it was like, oh, we're going to take whatever the defense gives us. Like, no, we're offense. We should be attacking the defense and forcing them to make moves and play. Right. And that's what I see is that this offense is just operating at a high level because they're organized, because they know what's expected of them, because they're not out there thinking. They're out there just running and making the play. When you get to Friday and you've ran the plays 3-4 times this week and you know exactly what you're supposed to be doing, it becomes a lot easier. Like if my coaches had installs ready on Tuesday and the whole offense knew what they were doing on Tuesday, and we were just fine-tuning until walkthrough Thursday and we were playing on Friday night, then we would have been much more successful.
I really want to know, when I heard that, and I called somebody, two former guys that I played with, and I can tell you who they are, Haywood Jeffries and Ernest Givens, guys who I played with, and we talked about that because Haywood follows, he's real big in the NFL and all that kind of stuff. Both of us was like, I wonder what the heck does that really look like.
And that's interesting too. Yeah. Because does that? I mean,
it's almost inconceivable what he said. I'm trying to see how does that manifest itself. I think I know, but that means they getting after it on Tuesday,
bro. But what's the crazy thing about that, Doc? He said 20-hour Tuesday.
Right. That's what I mean.
So that means I think that means that Mike McDaniel and his staff are putting in work for 20 hours to prepare the team for the upcoming game. So that means that from the time he gets in the office, maybe 3:00 in the morning, he's there till, let's say he gets in at 4:00 in the morning, Doc. He's there until 12:00 midnight. Like, and he's preparing his guys until midnight. Like they're locked in. They know exactly what they're supposed to be doing. So he's probably working during that whole entire period. Now that might not be all time with the players and like install and stuff like that. That may just mean, hey, for 20 hours on Tuesdays, that's my job. That's what I'm doing. I'm locked in. I'm making sure my guys are prepared for
Hey, you got to think about it this way. We're up here. It's 9:48 my time, 10:48 your time. Mike McDaniel right now is jotting up plays right now. He's getting up, watching film right now.
And that's honestly, that's the life of a coach.
Hell, he's just getting started.
And that's the life of a coach. Mike McDaniel gets in the office. I think he said he gets in the office at like 3:45 every day or something.
Yeah,
like
he's
that.
already up. He's already doing his thing.
Yeah. They did a special on him, and I think it was Jeff Darlington was riding around with him, riding to practice with him. Mike McDaniel's the first one there in the morning, like 3:45. Like, and they're all day. Like, bro, that's the life of a coach, NFL coach. That is just, and Scotty says it. He says, CB, there's an interview with Mike McDaniel where they go with him in his car at 2:30 a.m. Yep, that is exactly the case. And he's the first one in the office. And being in the office at 2:30 a.m. for a coach is not something that's not normal. Them coaches be sleeping at their office, bro. It's just, it's a tough job. It's a tough job during the season.
And what I wanted to say earlier, but I wanted to let Dee get her thing in.
Who you meant, Nene?
Nene, yeah. I think this is the first game we're going to see that the Dolphins have been having fun. Like, with all our wins, look at all the players, look at coach, having fun. When we lose, we were taking it seriously and it sucked. They were having fun, but they just couldn't get into the groove. I think, and this is my opinion, we're coming into this game angry. Like the players are going into this game angry for the first time because they are tired of the narrative. They're tired of the doubt. And they are going to spank the ever-living shit out of the Chiefs. They are going to come in there angry. And if you don't think so, you put their defensive line versus our O-line. And if Armstead's back, Williams is back, and then you take their offensive line versus our front four, and then you take their corners versus our wide receivers.
I like it. I like the matchups.
Their wide receivers versus our corners.
I like it. I
Are
love
you
the
fucking
matchups.
serious?
I love the
We will
matchup.
spank the shit out of them.
I'm with you, dog. I'm with
I
you.
like it. I like it. Honestly, man,
Get angry. Let's
we
get
got,
angry about this one.
but Mike McDaniels, I think, and he's using this narrative to fuel the players. I mean, I think he knows how to press on their buttons. Like he's pressing on Tyreek, he's pressing on Tua, and making sure those guys are locked in.
No, Tyreek does it on his own.
No, but you even said it. Like Rich Eisen says it in the interview. He's talking to Tyreek about how his routes need to be better. They need to be crisp. These defenses are going to attack him a certain way. His routes need to be precise. Like he's teaching him how to be a perfectionist, right? It was one thing for him. Oh, this is the route we want you to run. Run it. If you get anywhere in between this area, you'll be fine. No, run it to this point every time. Be precise so Tua knows exactly where you're going to be. He could throw it on you and put it on you at the right time.
Intricacies of the offense, because if you run it precisely and they take you away, then there's space over here for Waddle or there's space for Berrios, etc. So don't be jacking around just because you're the cheater and you run a 4-3. I need you 15 to the 15-yard mark and end and flatline, that kind of stuff.
Exactly.
Because the offense is so intricate. You know what I mean?
Now, I'm going to tell you like this. Either my prediction falls flat on his face or I look like a comic god. We are going to spank them by 21 points.
I think it's a big win. I'm not mad at you for that. I think we go out there and get a good win. I want it to be 14, 21 points, but I'm not going to be mad if we win by 3. I just want us to get the dub. I mean, at this point, I know how the NFL is. I know how the parity of it is. So I'll take a win, right? I'll be happy with that. But I'm going to continue this, and then we're going to wrap this up. Go ahead.
For a long time, and, the rest of the AFC East best bring their P's and Q's when they play them. And I know the Buffalo Bills did. I'm not saying he's invincible, but he's got this thing, in a great direction and all bottled up and uncorked. And he's also a funny dude. Like he's keeping things light in this locker room, and just having this curtain peeled back for me today with him was really mind-blowing. And, Orlovsky and Jason McCourty were like, that's one of the best production meetings they've ever been in with a head coach. And I just wanted to, bring that to you guys. It really, and wow. One last thing, when we asked McDaniel about why he came to Miami a week and, why he came to Germany with Miami all week and didn't just show up at the end, he said that in ultimate success, you need to run your system remotely, because in ultimate success, that's what you're going to do Super Bowl week. So if your goal is to make the Super Bowl, you don't want your first reps running your system remotely to be the Super Bowl week. You might as well simulate it in a week like this. And we all looked around. We're like, okay, that kind of makes sense, and you can have pretzel bread at the same time. It's pretty cool. Like the whole thing was awesome. Soup to nuts, just hanging amazing with him today. Wow.
So just very interesting, right? For Mike McDaniel to have the foresight to say, hey, let's go to Germany early. Let's run the system remotely, because honestly, I'm trying to prepare my guys for doing it some point in the near future, and that's the Super Bowl, right? That's very interesting to see, and he's setting that expectation in their minds. Like, hey, this is what I expect from you guys. You guys are good enough. You have all the talent. You have all the ability. We have the system in place. All we have to do is go out and execute, and we will be there. We will be in the game. And that's why I'm setting this up for us now to run the system remotely, so that, hey, when it comes Super Bowl week, we don't need to worry about the logistics of what we're doing. We already have a plan, right? We left on Monday. For Super Bowl week, we're going to leave on the same day. We're going to do the same agenda. It's going to be the same practice plan, the same meetings, the same media schedule, all of that. So it's just, interesting to see, and that's why Mike McDaniels is always a little bit ahead of the game. He's playing chess. He's not playing checkers. He's always ahead of it, man. So that's interesting to hear. And I just wanted to get some of your insight on that, some of you guys' insight on it.
Well, I would say this: if the Dolphins don't make it where we think they're going to make it, it's not going to be because the coach didn't push all the right buttons and do all the right things. This guy really gets the heartbeat of a team and all of that. You know, when you step between them lines, then it changes different. But he's doing, in my mind, everything humanly possible to put his team in the best position they can to be successful.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, and that's all you can do as a coach, right? I mean, you can call the plays. Logistically, you can make sure your guys are in their meetings, doing what they need to do, prepared for the games. Like that's really all you can do. Make sure they're prepared. You can't go out there and run the routes for them and throw the ball for them. But you can do everything else for the most part. So even if they do lose a playoff game because Tua makes a bad throw or because the defense isn't getting stops, I won't judge Mike McDaniel and say, oh, that's completely on you. You failed as a coach. I think that's on some of the players too. I think everybody takes on that responsibility. So I think you're 100% on that, Jock. It's just we can't put it all on him, but I mean, it seems like he's doing his best to have these guys prepared. And honestly, when you're a player, I mean, that being prepared mentally is 85% of probably 80 to 85% of what you do on the football field. Just having an understanding of what you're doing, where you need to be, what your blocking assignment is, what your other guys are doing. I think that's a lot of it. So, it's a beautiful thing to see it kind of come together. And you could tell Mike McDaniel is just a smart dude who wants his guys to be successful.
And I would say this, CB, if we're going to be totally transparent, right? Last year, when we hit that rough patch, there were a lot of reasons why. Tua wasn't out, and then when he came back, and Boyer. But I don't know if the one thing that we're going to find out, we can say as a whole, last year's team didn't deal well with adversity. Except you can say the Baltimore game. But other than that, we didn't do well, particularly down the stretch.
You're talking about in-game adversity.
Yes. And I talk about in-game, but then I'm also talking about you lose to San Diego and then you lose to San Francisco. And now how are you going to respond from those things, right? Now, again, so I want to see this year, should we have adversity, how we're going to respond to it. Because one of the things that Nene said, and I really, really hate to agree with her. I mean, really, really hate to agree with her.
She probably not even in here.
Good job, Doc. Good job. The Lord will bless you.
Right. But it is, what do you do when times get hard? When there's adversity and things get tough, how do you respond? And that's going to be the challenge for Mike McDaniel, the next challenge for him. Yeah. What happens when you have some hard luck? You know what I mean?
And I think he's kind of faced a little bit of that last year just because you had quarterbacks out, right? You're dealing with Teddy Bridgewater not being able to play, Skyler not being able to play.
Right.
You're dealing with not getting the plays in on times at certain points, clock management.
Yes.
I think he learned a lot from what he went through last year. Right.
You've seen some maturation. That's
right.
A fact.
Right. And I think even when it comes to like running the football, not sticking with the run at times and not being willing to just stick with the running game in times where you needed it. I think he's come around in terms of that. So I think he's the type of person where he looks himself in the mirror and he owns it, right? He owns that, I could have done this better. I should have done this better. This is where I need to be better the next go around. And that's a lot of people don't have that. Sometimes ego gets in the way of that for a lot of coaches, right? So I think he's willing to, as a coach, take coaching himself and just making sure that he gets better too, because that's a part of it too. Him getting better as a coach, just like these players got to get better. I think that's part of it. So, I mean, I think we touched on some really good stuff. I wanted to get to this Kansas City game and just kind of talk about, and I'm going to ask you guys this question. Like, if there's one thing we need to do offensively and defensively to win the football game, what is going to be like those two things on, both sides of the ball that we need to do in order to win the football game? And I'll start with Nene, because we'll do ladies first, right? So Nene, tell me what you think this offense and this defense, what are the offensive and defensive keys to winning the football game? Give me one for each.
With the defense, I just want you to be able to tackle, because you're not going to stop Patrick Mahomes. They're going to be able to move the ball. You got to be able to tackle. I think in a couple of the losses, they got to a certain part of the game where the defense just kind of folded a little bit. I know the calls with the Philly game, but even with the Buffalo game, you got to tackle, not this arm, jumping at ghosts, and hurting yourself. With the offense, I will say, I think our offense, honestly, is probably the best I've seen with Miami from birth. But the one problem I see is those hurting yourself plays and penalties that can, if you're playing a team like Kansas City, you're not going to get away with it. You can't spot Kansas City 14 points or some of the turnovers, and and that goes to Mostert too. I know we got a lot of touchdowns, but he has
Fumbles.
a way of putting that ball on the ground, and I just don't want them to hurt themselves. / Mike McDaniel, I know y'all been. That man probably somewhere in Germany just feeling the warmness of the love that y'all giving him. But he probably just look up in the sky. What is that feeling? That is CB's panel just giving me the massage of a lifetime.
Love. Yep.
But I want him to adjust if necessary. I still got questions. The fourth down stuff and adjusting, because sometimes he'll get a little stubborn, and I need him to make the adjustments if needed. Thank you.
I like it, Nene. I think you made some good points there. Tom, what's your thoughts? Tom, where you at, Tom? Tom, you there?
Yeah, I'm right here. Somebody started to speak.
Okay.
Let me tell you. All right, offensive wise, we have to reestablish the run game. Hopefully, Connor Williams is back. Armstead is back. So Mostert's going to get his numbers, going to run up and keep the defensive honest. And, Tyreek just pissed off the entire Kansas City Chiefs. So they're all going to try to target him and double team him and do this, do that. But that leaves up, Waddle, Barrios, Smythe.
Other guys, yep.
All the other guys are going to be wide open. The other key is whose defensive line is better, theirs or ours? Can they get pressure on Tua? I don't think they can if we got Connor and Armstead. And can we get pressure on Mahomes? Yeah. Have you seen our fucking four fronters?
Yeah.
That's all we have to send. 4. 4 is going to get the job done. We send 5, he going to get hurt. We send 6, game over.
I like it. Boy, you trying to send that pressure at him. Boy, hey, now
I'm telling you, this is going to be a blowout.
Hey, I hear you now.
21 points. 21.
Hey, your boy Tom ain't playing. He's convicted. I like it, Tom. I like the energy, man.
Did they lose to the Broncos? What did we do to the Broncos? Wait. They lost to the Broncos.
Yeah. That's the parody of the NFL.
Oh, well, he had a bad game. Hey, we beat the Broncos by 70. Oh, well, Broncos suck.
Hey, different game. Let's see what happens, man. Mountie, what you got for me, man? What's the keys, Mountie?
Like I think I said to you, CB, before, and Doc, look, I absolutely love our team, especially our offense. But I'll say this again, Mahomes is he's yesterday's Peyton Manning. Okay, you have to play keep away as well. That's
Run.
why I thought it was so much importance for us to implement a ball control type of offense to control the clock, score when we score, but we need to eat up a lot of clock so he doesn't have an opportunity to do Mahomes type stuff. Because this dude throws passes over his head, around his back.
Yeah.
I mean, come on, man. You have to play keep away. He's a great quarterback.
Yes.
And he's very young in his career. So that's what I'm saying. We can't lose sight of that and then just do what we do.
Yeah, I think so. And I mean, I think you hit the nail on the head too. I mean, ball control, sustaining drives, running the football. I think you all made some great points. And then Doc, give me your take on it. What's your thoughts? Two keys, offense and defense. Doc there?
I agree running the ball. I don't agree with keep away. Our offense is just too dynamic. We throw a slant to Tyreek and he takes it to the house. We throw a slant to or a dig route to Waddle and he takes it to the house, and there's nothing you could do about that. But I do believe running the ball to keep the defense honest is going to be a huge part of what we do. Their defense is pretty good. Their front seven is really good, and so keeping them honest and not letting them pin their ears back and get to the quarterback is going to be huge. And then defensively, again, dare I say, I agree with Nene again. I don't think they have enough offensively to beat us, save Patrick Mahomes just going off. I think we have a better offense than they do, but if we don't tackle well and we let Patrick Mahomes slide out when we got him sacked and then he gets up out of there and makes a throw on the run, that could really, really hurt us. So really tackling is going to be a big part of it. And so there I agree with Nene 2 times today. Never again in life will I agree with her.
That's hilarious. That's hilarious, man. But I think, hey, everybody made really good points. Like Doc, you said, I think it's really hard for this team, not to be an offense that's just score fast, right? I don't think we're built to just run a 4-minute offense where we just run the ball at a team, for an entire drive and waste 4 minutes off the clock. I don't think we're built like that. But I think there's a lot we do with the extension of the run game to keep teams honest, right? There's a lot of balls to throw in the flats. There's a lot of tunnel screens, bubble screens. There's a lot of stuff over the middle of the field. I do think you need to run the football in this game. I would like to see us get back to where we were early in the season with running the football and doing it successfully. That outside zone works. If we could get outside with Mostert, we got Armstead back, who's more swift on his feet and who can get out there and run. I'd like to see us get out in the open field and get those outside zone plays, those toss plays, even on the jet sweeps and tunnel screens and stuff like that. That means our offensive line is transitioning from being in that stationary position to moving out into the open field where guys are running and taking on cornerbacks and getting those guys that are swift, with the feet. So love to see that. And I think the defense will be fine. I think this defense is built to kind of stop teams like this. If Chubb and Jalen Phillips can do a good job of keeping their outside shoulder free and just making sure that Mahomes stays in that pocket and they collapse down on him, I think there's no way the Chiefs beat us, right? I think the only way Mahomes can beat us is getting out of the pocket, throwing off platform, and making these crazy plays down the field. And I just don't see him doing that with the type of corners and the type of safeties we have back there. I mean, our guys are too good back there for that to be happening. And I think Jalen Ramsey does add another element to this defense that teams are just going to be a little bit more afraid of. And he's going to cut off part of the field. X is going to cut off part of the field. You keep Mahomes in that pocket and turn him into a guy who could just, I can only stand in the pocket and I can't get off platform and make crazy throws. He's not going to enjoy it. And I think that's what the Broncos really did well, is they just didn't let him, make crazy plays. Like, if you play really solid in the trenches and your defensive ends are containing that guy, keeping him in the pocket, he's going to struggle because he doesn't have a lot of guys to throw to. He's got Kelsey, his safety blanket, security blanket, and outside of that, you really don't have any dudes that could beat you outside of that. So
Pacheco is a little quick.
I like Pacheco, running back. I like him a lot. He could play, but that's going to be David Long Jr. and Jerome Baker just making sure they're flying to that guy.
And I got questions because
go ahead. You got a question? Go ahead.
Well, I want to say a statement. The other thing I'll say is honorable mention for the game. No more injuries. I don't know how we're gonna do it.
Hallelujah.
But we need
to
leave there somewhat healthy, because you can only, and that's why I give Mike McDaniel a lot of credit, is the adjustments with all of the injuries. It's just only so much you can take especially when it's in the trenches and protecting that asset called Tua. So I say another thing that is key in this game is, if possible, I know it's a contact sport, let's limit the injuries and come back home more healthy. Oh, well, we're going to LA, right? Or is that game in Miami?
So we go to Vegas. So we go to we get a bye week first, and then we go to Vegas. So we need
to start getting more healthy, because now we're churning into
at home.
Hold on. We go to Vegas twice.
Okay.
For the Super Bowl. Yeah. Super Bowl. Yeah.
But my whole point is, someone said, I think it was Doc, or maybe it was someone else, you want to start hitting this stride into the Thanksgiving. I think we're 3 weeks away from Thanksgiving. The weather is starting to shift in the country to where our home court advantage is going to be diminished with all of the and I know Lewis don't like the weather, but it does change things. The ball, how people play when it's getting colder. So we need to start getting healthy. I don't know if we need to just band together, Miami-Dade County, West Palm Beach, Broward, and send a team of physical therapists. We need to get healthy.
I'm with you. I mean, I think that's a big part of it.
I would say that we are today
trending
the healthiest
towards.
We've been all year long.
Yeah.
So the issue is not getting healthy; it's more of staying healthy at this point.
Yeah.
I said that, Doc. Get the sugar daddy out your ear.
Ooh.
Just because he said
she on you tonight, Doc. She on you.
Doc.
Hey man, it be your own people. That's my home girl. We went to the same high school and all of that. You just be your own people, man.
Yeah.
They smile in your face, man. That's all I can tell you.
The backstabbers. Hey, man, I appreciate everybody coming out tonight. Shout out to the homies in the panel: Nene, Tom, Mountie, Red, Doc Brown. Lewis came through. Some other guys came through. I appreciate everybody coming through, man.
CB, quick question for you before you go. What do you make of Jalen Ramsey neither confirming nor denying that he would be on Kelsey?
I think they're gonna mix it up, and I think Vic Fangio is going to. They don't want to tell their hand. They don't want to show their hand. I think you're playing poker at this point, so you don't want to tell what you're gonna do. You just want to go out there and show and throw some different looks at them. And I think sometimes you'll see Jerome Baker on them. I think sometimes you'll see Deshaun Elliott over the top of them. Maybe Baker underneath. I think Fangio's got to get creative. I mean, honestly, I don't think you put Jalen Ramsey on him all game and say, "Hey, guard him." No, I think you got to
Holland.
Yeah.
Maybe
And I think you got to hit him. That's what I want to see.
Look, if X is gonna play, if X is in the game, you put X on MVS. You put Kader Kohu on their second wide receiver, and then you just stick Ramsey on Kelsey the whole game and go do something.
It's too predictable. I mean,
It's predictable, but what are you going to do about it? What are you going to do about it? Because
sometimes, look, I've seen the matchup. Ramsey has got him sometimes. Kelsey has 8 in that matchup. So I've seen it already where Kelsey.
Yeah, but they have never seen this.
Yeah, I agree.
Wait. Let me just do this real quick. Oh, Mahomes rolls right. Oh shit, there's Chubb. Mahomes rolls left. Oh shit, there's Phillips. Mahomes stays in pocket. Oh shit, there's Wilkins.
Yeah.
What are they gonna do?
I agree.
They ain't gonna do shit.
We're
Dolphins 21 points.
Hey, my man, going back to that, he ain't playing with that. Hey, I appreciate y'all coming through, man. It's all love. A great show tonight. I appreciate everybody coming up, man.
Dolphins 21.
Hey, fins up. Shout out to everybody for coming through. Shout out to the homies. Hey, I really appreciate everybody coming through. Do me a favor, hit the like on your way out if you haven't already. If you haven't subscribed, please do that. I really do love my fans. Appreciate y'all coming through. I couldn't do this without you guys. I really couldn't. Appreciate the support on Patreon. Click the link if you want to become a Patreon member. I've seen a couple people become Patreon members tonight. Appreciate that. I'll be sure to add you guys into the chat next time for sure. Hey, we got a dub coming. Get excited. Hey, do the Miami Dolphins go over there and get a big win?
I hope so.
Okay. I hope so, man. I hope we go in there and get that dub. And I got faith that we're going to go in there and get it, man. Shout out to the Miami Dolphins. Shout out to you guys. Hey, it's Finn State with CB83, and your boy is out. See ya.
From the bottom, that's foreign. I swear that I'm up for the sun in the morning. Oof, hey, I gotta flex. I need a Nike bag, give me the check. I need the money and power, respect, but I promise I'm repping the O to the dead.